talk about the pros and the cons of the Alaskan Klee Kai. Like, what better thing to talk about if you're thinking about getting an Alaskan Klee Kai, or you're on a list to get a puppy, or you're picking one up soon. You definitely want to know what you're getting yourself into, right? Let's talk pros. I made a video about 5 best things. 5 best things a long time ago, like a year ago, I think. So that video really covers a lot of the pros that I'm going to discuss. But of course, not everyone has seen that video, so I need to talk about it. And I think I've added a few too. All right, so pros. The one thing that comes to mind right away is that they're small. So like a lot of people live in apartments, they don't have a very active lifestyle to where they can run their dog for 4 or 5 miles a day. They want to take their dog everywhere with them, and so they're a pretty small breed. I mean, Nala's 11 pounds and she's full grown, over a year and a half. And so she's very compact. She can go everywhere that we go. She can hop into the car like nothing, and so they're small, they're compact. So for those of you who want a small dog or live in an apartment, don't have a huge yard, they're the best compromise between having a husky and having that look and having something really small. They're smart, so they're such an intelligent breed, right? So who wants the dumb dog that doesn't know its name and it's a year old or whatever? You want something that's smart and intelligent and that you can challenge. And so, come on. So they're a pretty smart breed. Remember, there's good and bad with all of this, right? Because sometimes they're too smart for their own good. And so now you want them. Okay, yeah, you only want what she wants. My next thing that's a pro is that they are loyal. So they're such a loyal breed. They are very committed to their owners. They want to please us. They want to make us happy. And they want to give us a lot of love. And so you'll see sometimes where people are talking about they're not good on off leash, or that they are stubborn and they're hard to train. But if they respect you and they know that you're the boss, that loyalty is going to play a big part, because they're going to be so loyal to their boss, their master, that they're going to obey you regardless of the situation. So loyalty is a big thing. Nala, be gentle. Nala, be gentle. Next is they're an active breed. So yeah, they're small, they're compact, but they're still active. And most of us have an active lifestyle, whether it be we have kids that are in sports and we're at the parks, or we like to go hiking or jogging. They have some energy and we want them to enjoy life with us. So we want to take them to those places. So even the smallest Klee Kai, Nala size for example, is still very active. I mean, yeah, they get tired faster than a big husky does, but they're active and they can keep up with a 1 mile hike or a 1 mile jog around the neighborhood type of thing. So most people, again, have active lifestyles, and so we think that that is definitely a plus. Another one is, and this one was a good one that somebody just brought up the other day, and she thought that I should go over this. I didn't do my research on this in detail, but one pro is that they don't have an odor. So you know how some dogs have that smell, like a German Shepherd smell. Certain breeds have very, very specific, distinct odors. This breed is pretty much odorless, which is a plus, especially if we already have to deal with hair. So at least we don't have to deal with odor and hair. What I did do is I did do a little bit of research in my spare time, and I found that a lot of the odor from different breeds, yeah, it's a specific breed, but there's still an odor that comes regardless of a specific breed, and it is related to either their ears, their anal glands, their teeth, which is bad breath, or their skin. And the last one for my pros is probably the best one. They are the best companion. And so, of course, they're the best companion because why? They want to be with us. They want to love on us. They want to please us. And yes, they're stubborn. And yes, all of those things that come with all the bad traits or bad behavior or cons, as we say, they all are just pushed out the window the minute you see the list of pros. And the last thing on my list is the best companion. Because what does everybody want a dog for? We want a dog so we have a companion. We want a dog so that we can take places. We want a dog to exercise with. We want a dog so that it could be a family member. So what better thing than an Alaskan Klee Kai, because they're gonna give you all of those things. So yeah, there's pros and there's cons, but the pros outweigh the cons, at least in my opinion. Cons. There's a lot, but I remembered last week that my page was so long that I couldn't get through everything. And so I just listed probably the most commonly known cons, or the most commonly things that we see, traits, bad behavior, that type of thing. So that's what we're gonna go over. This isn't everything, I'm sure, and everyone's gonna have their own opinion. This is just based on my experience, our opinion, what we see, and so here we go. Stubbornness. So this breed is super, super stubborn. Remember, they're a northern breed. They take after the Huskies in a lot of different ways, and stubbornness is one of them. And the best way to not really cure it, but the best way to teach them that you are the boss and they are not the boss is to not give in to their stubbornness. They can't win. Once they win, they realize they won, and they will never give up because they won once. They're going to win again and again and again. So stubborn. It's good and it's bad, right? A lot of times we like it. We like it when they have a mind of their own and they're smart and they do all these things because they know that they can, but it's not always in their best interest. So we got to be the boss of them. Okay, so the next one falls under both categories, if you ask me. I think it's a pro and a con, but sometimes it can be pretty annoying, and that is that they're a vocal breed. So this breed, they talk, they howl, they cry, they scream, and it's all part of the vocalness. And I don't really understand why, but of course it comes from the husky traits. But I don't know why some dogs howl and talk and others just bark annoyingly. But this breed is pretty vocal. So I put it as a con because there are times when you need to leave them home alone and you haven't done your job on teaching them how to be alone, and they suffer from separation anxiety and they're screaming and your neighbors are complaining, or animal control shows up because they think your dog's dying. There's a lot of bad with it, but there's also a lot of good that comes with it. Hi, little mommy. This is the tiniest little baby. She weighs 1 pound, 15 ounces. You're just a tiny baby. And the next is that they can be shy, reserved, timid, as a whole, as a breed. And so you'll see that a lot of times if you're just doing research on a breed specifically, like we would just say Alaskan Klee Kai, you've never heard about them and you just came across the breed and you start reading up, a lot of things you're gonna see is that they can be shy or reserved with strangers. And so it's definitely a con, right? Like they're made to be companions, you wanna be able to take them everywhere. And so how do we eliminate that? How do we make sure our puppy doesn't have that? And so the best thing to do is you have to start early. It's all part of the process of socializing and enrichment things where you're teaching them how to cope, get them as many places as you can, experience as much as you can with a lot of different sounds and textures and a lot of things that go into that, which I have a couple videos on that type of stuff. So that's super, super important. If you don't do that and if you don't start young, there's a very, very good chance that your dog will have shyness, reservedness, timidness, scared. A lot of different things can come with that. They're too smart for their own good. And that could be a bad thing because yes, we want them to be a smart breed. Yes, we want them to pick things up right away, but that also means They learn how to open up gates. They learn how to open up doors. They learn how to become escape artists. They learn how to manipulate us. There's so much that comes into that. So it's good and it's bad. So a lot of my pros and cons, they go both ways because it depends which way you look at it. All right, my last one that I have on my list for cons is they shed. And so for some people, they don't want a dog that blows their coat and has hair all over the place. And this breed definitely sheds. They do blow their coat twice a year. And what I mean by blow their coat is they have a double coat. So they have their inner coat and their outer coat. Their inner coat, which is the part that sheds twice a year whenever you hear somebody talk about blowing coat, that's the part that actually sheds out. And you would never believe how much fur will come out of this little dog. It doesn't look like they have a whole lot of fur, but then you start brushing and brushing and brushing, and it never ends. And so, yes, it gets hairy. Yes, they shed. Yes, you need roller brushes. If you maintain a weekly grooming schedule as far as brushing them and taking them to the groomer when they're blowing coat really bad, it is manageable. When they're not blowing coat, there's not a lot of fur. Is the fur ever going to be non-existent? No. But it's definitely minimal whenever they're not blowing their coat. If you brush your dog every week, even when they're not blowing coat, and that could be for 5-10 minutes, it's not a whole long time. If you do that, then when they are shedding and blowing that coat, it's going to be less, because what's going to happen is you're going to be constantly getting out all of the loose dead fur and promoting the growth of the new fur. And so it'll be less and it'll be way more manageable. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I hope that you guys enjoyed our show and that you learned something valuable that you guys can take with you and not make mistakes with your dog, or know what you're getting yourself into, because it's pros and cons, grooming, nail trimming, all of that stuff. So we thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Until then, bye.
Hi babies! If you enjoyed this video, please do me a favor and consider subscribing to our channel so that you don't miss out on any future videos that we post. And if you want to watch more videos like this video, you can check out the video over here. Until next time, bye!